Hi, everybody. It's Friday evening, and I have my sweet friend Margarita here with me tonight. Margarita really, truly just has a huge heart for helping people and sharing her story and really just having compassion and empathy towards others. And I really wanted to bring her on tonight because I think a lot of you guys can really relate to her. Um, and she just really has a powerful message to share tonight. So, with that, Margarita, I just want to hand it over to you for you to share your story.
Way to be put in the spot, hey? We'll just take it over. Hey guys, my name is Margarita Castro, and we've been trying to do this live now for a few days, believe it or not. So I'm super determined to talk now because it's been a struggle to make this happen. So I guess I wanted to talk about um, when we're hurting, when we're hurting, our body is hurting when we go through things, and our bodies tends to get stuck in that pain. And I guess my message is that we need to, slow down and pay attention to what our body's trying to say to us. Not everything that we put into ourselves is good. And thanks to wonderful ladies like Holly here, talking about the right way to to handle yourself in life and to eat healthy, to do things the right way. I've never been one to be crunchy, as a new term that I just recently learned. I've done always the opposite. I've always done things the hard way. I've always stayed quiet in my pain, thought I could handle everything on my own. And it turned into huge, huge chaos because we're not put on this earth to handle things on our own. So I guess that's just starting it.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, you know, it's easy to kind of get in a slump. It's easy to get, a lot of things affect our health, good things in, good things out, bad things in, bad things out. And it's easy to, feel really sad a lot and things like that when we go through hard times and pull ourselves out of that. And, sometimes it's not, sometimes, people that may not understand that, they may not understand that, you just can't always just pull yourself by your bootstraps. Sometimes you need other outside sources and other helps, and not to feel ashamed about that, and it's okay. And I think that's important too, just to realize that it's okay, and really my I like to advocate for people with health and wellness in all aspects, and really our body and our mind and everything, it's all connected. And you know I think a lot of my own health journey, and I think, well, you know we go to all these different specialists and whatnot, and that's great and all, but then sometimes it gets so specialized that it gets so separated that we really don't take a step back and look at the body as a whole and how it's all connected. And so when we can learn to kind of do that, we really can benefit
Right.
ourselves in a lot of ways. So I really want you to kind of dive in and share a little bit of like what happened along your journey and what kind of got you where you are today. I know you've experienced a lot. And
I have. I mean, like we all experience a lot of things. If our load is heavy for each one of us to carry, no matter where you're at in life, right? We all have
mhm,
burdens to carry. I like, my upbringing was really nice. Like I lived in a small little fishing village in Galicia, Spain, right? And it was really nice, but it was really isolated. And alcohol was part of our family. Like my it was alcohol was very much present, and because of that, it was a very toxic environment. And growing up in an environment like that, where you can't speak, you can't share how you're feeling, you grow up fearful of absolutely everything, and that kind of
mhm,
carries on in life. It teachers will do the same thing to you, and you lose your voice. And when you don't have a voice as a child, it is really hard for you to have a voice as an adult unless you find it yourself. And with me, what happened with me is that I chose to find my voice by numbing myself, by being under the influence of alcohol, because it gives you liquid courage, right? It's the easiest thing to obtain. So, like it was, I've never truly been able to be me as you see me right now, except for right now. Anytime I've ever needed to speak in front of anybody or to anybody, it's been under the influence of something. And after in 2003, I had my first car accident. And that's when I first started using, and like just things. I went to the doctor and I started getting prescribed whatever I needed to heal, to feel better. And unfortunately, that's just not what happened. I got addicted to the pills, and what the pills did for me is that it allowed me not to deal with anything. I didn't feel pain in my body, and whatever was going through my mind, I just took another pill and drank another glass of wine because I didn't have to deal with it. And that's how I just got them going. In 2011, I was in another car accident. This one was in Spain, though, and I was stranded in Spain for about 2 months. I had 2 or 3 hairline fractures from the base of my neck to the bottom of my shoulders. And like I came back on the plane on first class, which was the bonus part of it, but with a neck brace. I wasn't supposed to carry anything heavy. And when I arrived to Edmonton, I carried my luggage. And that night I went to go take a shower, and I went to adjust my shower head, and I just dropped like a hotcake to the shower. Could not lift myself up. Like I went completely numb on my right side. And that it stayed like that. I ended up going to emergency, to the biggest hospital here in the city, and I got treated like a junkie. Ironically, I wasn't like I didn't feel like I was. I mean, I knew I was abusing medication, but I was hurt, but my ego took the best of me and I left. I'm like, I don't want your medication. If I wanted what you're offering me, I could have gone it in the streets for cheaper and probably better. I'm offended. I got butt hurt and I left. So I sat with that. I just kept on drinking and numbing and drinking and numbing and never addressing it. Then in 2016, I got into my last car accident, which was a high-speed rollover going 120 on a highway. I'm not even supposed to be alive at this moment. And I know it's just all my second chance from God, like I've only ever dreamed of this life, and now I have it. So what am I going to do with it, right? So in 2016 was my last accident, and that left me, like, my physical, on the outside, I was fine. Like, I'm still walking around with glass in my body from it. They didn't remove all of it, but my injuries were all internal. I couldn't stand for, like, it was just horrible. I had absolutely no quality of life. And then I became pregnant, and I stopped using everything, like absolutely all the medications that I was using. I stopped using everything, and I just sat with my pain, and I took the brokenness that I felt. I took it as my body growing and expanding for a new life, right? And I prayed that once I gave birth to him, that it would all just fall back into place. My body would stop hurting and it would all just put itself back together. But it didn't. And it didn't because I had spent so many decades of my life numbing the pain that I was already feeling. I never actually sat and had it properly handled. My ego took the best of me, and I didn't go to the doctors and told them the truth, like, I'm having a problem, I need help. And when in 2000 and after I gave birth to him, 2017, it just felt so redundant because, like, I felt like I was against the wall. I felt like it was either sit with my misery and pain or go to narcotics again. And that wasn't an option. Like, I have a very addictive personality. And I know that one pill will be 2 pills, 3 pills, and it feels good when you don't feel crappy things, like no one wants to feel hurt or pain or anything like that, but what I've noticed, the conclusion that I've come to is that it will only hurt for a little while, until your body releases everything that it's held, and until you sit down and actually face yourself and address the things that you've been hiding. Because what you hide inside will also hurt you physically unless you come to face who you really are and look at yourself in the mirror and accept everything you've ever done as is and love yourself for it. You're always going to beat yourself up and you're always going to hurt, So yeah, that's kind of my journey.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people can relate. And, It's so true. Like stuffing and not dealing with emotions, stuffing and not dealing with relationships, with
Yeah,
issues, with anything that is really hard in life, grieving, any of that. I mean, not
absolutely.
dealing with that, it really does take a toll physically
It
as
does.
well,
It does. It does.
hugely.
Like I used to have the worst stomach pains every day for a good solid year. And it was, I know it was because I don't know how to handle my stress. When things happen to me, I panic. Like my body starts, like I need to fix it. I need to figure something out. Like I can't just stand still. Well, I couldn't because I can now,
Mhm,
but before I couldn't just sit still and let it just process, like,
mhm.
and separate myself from whatever I was feeling. Like that for me is huge because I'm able to now I have things in the right spot in my head, and like flashbacks are real. They're real and they're painful,
Mhm,
especially when you choose to stop putting toxins in your body, like stop taking the pills and drinking the alcohol. Everything that you thought you would never remember, it starts flashing back, out of the in
mhm,
the oddest of times. But it does get better. Like they do go away. What I do to help me through it is I acknowledge it, I write it down, and I release it. Like I rip it up and I throw it away and I rephrase it. Like I had to literally take the tape out of my head and start, like anytime I caught myself saying anything negative or
mhm.
saying anything bad, I would stop whatever conversation I'm having and rephrase that,
I
because
think that's really powerful to just to share with people. Like that's a good tool to have because some people don't, it kind of symbolizes too, you get it on paper and you're ripping it up. It's done.
it
Like,
does not belong to you. Like we are fed so many lies, and unfortunately our parents just didn't know better. Like they were fed lies too. And like I
mhm,
know for my family, it was more like my parents and my grandparents, it was survival mode. Like you did things to survive. You didn't things to do things to enjoy life,
mhm,
right? It was what you had to do. And that carried on. It carried on with my mom, with me, and I'm breaking that cycle because it's not like that. Like
mhm,
life doesn't have to be so hard. We make it hard.
mhm,
For me it was admitting or facing what I was doing. Like I needed help. I would feel so much shame saying I need help, I don't have money, I need help, I'm struggling mentally, I need help, I need a place to sleep, you know and I suffered because of it.
mhm. So, and that's why you have such this heart that just like oozes out of you, like of love and compassion for other people. I love that about you. Like I have so much respect for you from everything that you've gone through. And, we can go through hard times and we can internalize it and turn it into bitterness and live with it for the rest of our lives and be ugly. Or we can turn the other way and we can work on it and turn it into
Yeah.
something beautiful to help other people.
Well, that ugliness, though, that ugliness that you're talking about, you're gonna turn it ugly before you make it pretty. Like
Mhm.
when I began my healing journey, it was rough. Like it was like everything was coming out, like I was rude, I was mean, I had
Mhm.
no patience. Like I just lashed out with my words, because
Mhm.
I couldn't control anything how I was feeling. So I needed to control people around me,
Mhm.
and you have to literally detoxify every part of you, like every part of you, your body, your mind, your spirit, your soul, like every part of you, because toxins, like hang on to you, and
Mhm.
it doesn't have to be physical, it's spiritual as well. Like if you have
Absolutely.
nothing spiritual to hang on to and nothing to ground you, you're just a walking zombie. Like you have
Mhm.
nothing to guide you in life other than greed. That's not okay.
Mhm.
You need to have a higher power and you need to have a community. Like this
Absolutely.
community is huge. Like when I began this journey, I didn't just start looking for things to make me feel better. Like it's like God slowly starting putting things and taking people away at the same time, and at first it was connecting with my ancestors, and talking to him again and having a conversation with him. That was my very first step. That's the very first tool that I have. And then he gave me a community. He took all the negativity away, and started giving me one person that inspired me, and that made my heart feel something, because I couldn't feel anything. Like I
Mhm.
couldn't feel anything at all. I was numb. I had to search for videos to make me laugh. I had to search for videos to make me cry. I felt I was so constipated in every way. you
Hmm.
know. So you have to have a toolbox. Like, you can't just think you're going to take one thing and it's going to fix everything. Absolutely not. Because we come from such a traumatic past, you have to talk about it, you have to journal about it, you have to release it, and constantly be grateful because we have a second chance. Every day is a second chance.
Absolutely. And you talk about your accident. I mean, right there, you shouldn't have even been here, you know.
Yeah,
And so when you talk about, you talk about working through your emotions and having this toolbox and things like that. And I know that a lot of it is, really working through that emotional turmoil and things like that. But then there is the physical side too. And, like the body being overran and just bogged down with things. And, I just want you to kind of share, part of that as well. And, things that you've done to really help your body, not be so, I mean, because, you come out of all of that. I mean, that's a lot on your body constantly being
it
put in your body.
is.
And it's not really intended to be put in there every day all the time. So that's hard on the body to, to bounce back from that. And really when you're bogged down with things, it messes with you mentally as well.
It does. It does, because you can be someone else. Like, where you want to be, right? And I got really impatient with myself because, like, when it all came tumbling down, I just stayed stuck. Like, I had to just sit there, and it was like I gave up, like, this is my life. This is what I asked for. I took all this stuff for all these years, and now you're expecting to live all happy and healthy, like nothing ever happened. Like, you
Hmm.
didn't just abuse it for the last 30 years, you know?
It's
That's
not
not,
realistic.
that's not
And
realistic.
you have to implement something physically to help yourself. I mean, you
It's
can't just,
Yeah,
there's
sit
damage
there.
there.
Yeah, sit there and expect it to just, come in and do what it needs to do. Like, when I've so the my first out of everything that I've quit doing, like, I used to drink heavily for a good full solid 4 years, like every day, from the moment that I would wake up until the moment that I would go to bed. Not my proudest time, but it's my reality, and it's what I did. I was a functioning alcoholic, you know. And when I stopped that, I locked myself in my room and used all my savings for the next 3 months until my body just cleansed itself out. And then I chose to never have a drink again. And my stomach started acting up anyways. So I couldn't drink to begin with because it started burning. Like, I swear I made another second hole in there. So it's pretty simple for me now not to drink because of all the damage that I've caused before. But what I recommend is that you just sit there and have patience with yourself, because you're healing now. Like, your body needs to sit down and accept the mess that you created for it, and then you got to start filling it with good. Like, talk to people, find ways to reduce whatever you're going through naturally. Look for the natural route first. Don't go and put Advils and whatever the heck else you want to grab that the doctor gives you. Let that be your second option unless it is absolutely necessary and life dependent.
Mhm.
Other than that, you should find alternative ways. So that is like my biggest thing. Like, be patient with yourself. Don't expect you to come, like, to run a marathon so quick, because you need to have patience with yourself. You just put your body through a lot of chaos, and now it's regrouping. So I know your mind wants to go a mile a minute, because mine does too, but you need to, like, journal and meditate. You just need to learn how to be okay with just sitting still and allowing yourself to listen to what is coming through your mind and flushing it out. Allow yourself to do that for a little while every single day, and it'll become lighter and lighter and lighter. It doesn't, then those that doesn't belong to you anymore. Like, we keep a lot of things that don't belong to us. It's inherited to us, from our health to the way that we act about things in life to, the way we treat people. So
Mhm.
you have to acknowledge that you need help first and foremost. Don't be ashamed to reach out, because it's going to be a pavy road, and it's easier when you have like-minded people around you.
Mhm.
And there is a
Well,
lot of
and
community support. I mean,
yeah,
AA meetings are
absolutely.
there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and that's another thing why, I know I know you have this heart for people, and um and we're talking about, you know, this topic of emotional health and things. But, you know, we all go through different journeys that are hard, whether it be physical, emotional, tied together, you know, and that's why I love this business, because truly, like, it's just filled with people that have huge hearts to want to help other people. And
That
not
is,
only that, but it's a huge community, and that's a blessing in and of itself. And then, you know, it's filled with people who have come from dark places and they have chosen to turn it around and use it for good and help other people with it, and that's beautiful. And I think that that's exactly what God would want us to do. um
yeah,
and I just think it's wonderful. And so I just really appreciate you sharing, because I know this story isn't easy for you to, you know, come out live and publicly to the whole world and share, you know, that's not
yeah.
easy to do. But
It's not,
I
but
really respect
I
you for
rather,
doing it.
thank you. I appreciate it. Like I don't care. Like you're gonna get judged anyways, right? I keep on hearing this over and
Yeah.
over, and it's the truth. Like you're gonna get judged anyways. And I've spent so much of my life hiding away from who I am. Like it loses power the moment that you announce it, you know. No one can ever make you feel bad for anything in life unless you let them, you know. And if it does make you feel bad, then maybe it's because you need to work on yourself, right?
Mhm.
If somebody says something to you that rings true, like really, really true, where you got really butt hurt, then you need to sit down and kind of reassess why it's hurting you so much and, work on that because it's important for all of you to be working as one. And if you're not getting, if your body is hurting, you can't focus, you can't allow your mind to heal, it's just not going to happen. You can only do one thing at a time. Your body's not designed to just like fix it all at once for you with no work, no help
No.
from you.
Well, and truly, like, you know, focusing on the body too. And we know that the mind, we know that, you know, our bodies and our minds are very much connected and that they affect each other drastically. And so, plugging into educational groups, plugging into people that can educate you on how to do that physically, how to truly get to, you know, good things in, good things out, and really just cleanse the body as a whole.
Mm,
You know, that's key, and that's what we're all about. That's why we're here, that's why we're sharing. And so we do have some really great educational groups that we'd love to plug you into if you're watching this and, you know, you're resonating with it, because, you know, that's why we do what we do. And truly, it's just, even if this video helps one person out there, it's a total victory. So I really just appreciate you coming on. And if anybody's watching, you know, and you really do want to be a part of one of those groups, please reach out, because they're a wonderful resource and they could be a huge blessing in your life. And
absolutely.
I just so appreciate you, Margarita, and I appreciate sharing your story and having, you know, taking your time out tonight to come on and share it with the world. So
My pleasure. Honestly, it helps me heal too. The more I talk about it and the more I share my journey with others, the more I feel better too. So it's dual here. I,
that's good. That's wonderful. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. So you, we're gonna wrap it up tonight. But like I said, guys, you know, if this resonates with you, reach out. So thanks
absolutely.
so much, Margarita. We'll see you guys
See you
later.
guys. Thank
Bye.
you.